So today we'll be studying about nested looping statements. So nested means anything within a same object, like any object within the same type of object. For example, looping statement means a loop within a loop. So here, as you can see, a for loop, nested for loop, one for loop is there, then another for loop is inside that for loop. So this is known as nested for loop. So any object inside the same type of object is known as nested condition. Okay, so here, as you can see, there are two type of for loops. I mean, two for loops. So one of the for loop is inside of another for loop, inside the body of this for loop. So here for A in range is one for loop, and inside its body, as you can see, indentation is maintained over here. So for B in range 5,7. So this means this is a nested for loop. So this is known as nested condition. Okay, so we have already discussed about nested in conditional statements like nested if. So similarly, we can use it for nested looping statements also. So this you have to understand. So here we'll be discussing about few logics, how this nested looping statement works. Okay, so that we'll be discussing. Just a minute, I'll just assign few students. Okay, fine. So first of all, let's start with the syntax. Okay, so here, as you can see, from this only, for outer in range, so outer may be the name or any outer variable. So I'll just go with the syntax. So general syntax for nested for loop. Okay, general syntax for nested looping statements. Okay. So here, first of all, we can define the general syntax like simple. I'll go with for loop. So for that, you need to write for is a keyword. We have to write it in lowercase. Okay. So then I'll write outer. So this is the outer loop. So simply I'm writing outer. Okay. Then let us say in range function, then parameter one. I'm simply writing the parameter one. If you want to write parameter two also, you can include parameter two, as well as you can include parameter three, right? So if you want to include only one, that is also possible, two parameters or three parameters, depends upon your preference. So after that, as you can see, cursor is blinking right underneath of that for. So this for is a block. I mean, this is a block, right? So it has a body. So we need to maintain this indentation. So I'm just pressing this one tab space. So as you can see, now that cursor position is changed. One tab space. Okay. Now here I'm again about to write this for statement. Now I'm writing for inner in range. The same thing. Like if you want to use single parameter, you can write only one parameter and close this. Or if you want to include two parameters, then write parameter two. Then if you want to include third parameter also, then you can include that also. So this for is also a block. So as you can see, I've used this colon. Colon means it is also a block. But as you can see, the cursor is still blinking underneath that outer for loop. So I'm pressing this one tab. Now the position has shifted from outer for loop to second for loop. Again, this for loop is another block, so it should also maintain that indentation space. So I'm pressing one more tab. See, now this is the proper indentation for this inner for loop. This you have to be very, very careful. Okay, this you have to maintain. Now here, I want to include the statements to be executed inside this, nested loops. Okay, so I'm including one statement. Then after that, I want to include few more statements. So statement 2, then still there are statement means you can include that statements. So dot 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 up to statements n. So how many statements you want to include inside this nested for loop? You may include all those statements. So statements means any line of code that you want to execute inside this nested for loop, right? So this is an example of nested for loop. So similarly, you can try with nested while loop also. So just try to recall the syntax of while loop, then try to include one while loop inside another while loop. So first we'll start with this nested for loop. Then you may try with nested while. And if you are having any difficulty, we'll discuss in that also. Okay. So first let's start with this nested for loop statements. So we have already discussed about single for loop only. So how for loop works. So what are the necessary parameters or the syntax that we need to use while defining for loop. So we are using 2 for loop here. So that means one of the for loop is outer one. Inside this for loop, there is one more for loop. So that's why this for loop can be considered as inner for loop and this one is as outer for loop. So you have to understand these terminologies. It is very simple. So we are discussing about some programs related to this nested for loop, I may use this term. So the program controller reaches to outer for loop. So that means you have to understand the program controller is at this point. Now, after getting values from range function, program controller moves to inner for loop. Means you have to understand program controller right now is at this point. Okay. So after checking the parameters inside range function in inner for loop, now program controller gets inside its body or inside the body of inner for loop. Means you have to understand it, your program controller is inside inner for loop. So right here. Okay. So in this way, you have to understand these terminologies so that it will be easy for understanding the programs. Okay. So let's start with few examples so that it will be clear. So here, I'm just giving you some concepts and some logics you have to understand. So right now, as you can see, this is a blank file. I mean, there are no lines. So simply we are able to understand this is the first line of this file. That is, I have written something general syntax for nested looping statements. This is the first line. Then in the next line, I have used that symbol like equal to simple. So this is the second line, then this is third line, this is fourth line, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth line. So here you have to imagine different lines, right? So similarly, whenever we see some output on the console, we have to imagine the lines. So what I mean to say is, just try to remember here, if I just execute this code, see, nothing is printed. Why? Because this is not correct. So I'll simply execute this. So on this console, the output is displayed as hello, 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 hello. So this hello is printed on the first line. This has printed on second, similarly this on third, and this on fourth. This you have to understand, okay? Your output console is started from this point, okay? I mean, this is the first line, this is the second line, this is the third line, and this is the fourth line. Till now, though, we were just concerned about what is the output. Okay, we are printing hello for 5 times, 10 times. Okay, fine, hello is printed. But now, whenever we are discussing about nested looping statements, then you have to be careful about those lines also. So up to which line? Okay, how many lines do we need to print for any particular output? Okay, so here I'm just highlighting this line. So this hello was printed for 4 times. That means we can print this hello either in 2 lines also or within a single line also. But right now, your output has been printed in 4 lines. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when we are talking about nested looping statements, it is concerned with the lines also. So now what I mean to say is this outer loop is always concerned with how many rows do you want to execute. Okay, how many rows or how many number of lines you want to go for the output. So this outer loop is concerned with number of lines for the output. And this inner loop or inner for loop, or there might be while also. So this inner looping statement is concerned with printing the type of output, or you can say number of columns. Okay, so outer statement, outer looping statement is concerned with number of lines, and inner one is concerned with number of columns. Now you have to understand this. I hope you have studied matrix, right, in your mathematics matrix. So similar concept you have to understand here, rows, combination of rows and columns. Okay, so outer loop is concerned with number of rows. That means number of lines in output console. So up to which line or how many lines do we want to print that particular output? And inner loop is concerned with number of rows, columns, sorry. Okay, so up to which columns or how many columns you want to print that particular output. Okay, so by this combination, your output will be displayed in nested form. So just remember, outer loop is concerned with rows, number of rows or lines, horizontal lines, and inner loop is concerned with columns or vertical lines. Clear? So this you have to understand. So let's go with one example, then it will be more clear to you. So here, for outer in range. So let me go with this one only, simple one first, then we'll go in complex one, okay? So here I'll just simply type the same program as that of your book. I'll create a new file. For outer in range 5, 10, 4. Okay, so this is the outer loop. And now for inner in range is a function. So 1, see here, now I've used that outer variable. That means whatever the outer variable is receiving the value from this outer for loop, so that value will be assigned here. Okay, just notice this part. So previously we were using different values, like starting point is either lowest or highest value, then the ending point is highest or lowest value as well, in case of this first and second parameter. So till yesterday's class, previous class, we were studying that way. But now, while using this nested for loop, we can use this looping variable of outer loop inside this inner for loop. So that's why this outer I have used here. This variable I've used here as a stopping point for the upper limit. So just pay attention here, okay? Then at the same time, just notice the indentation. See, this is very, very important. Then print outer, inner. Okay, so here I want to print the value of outer, inner. So let me run this code. Before that, it will ask me to save the code. I'll write nested for loop example 1. There might be different examples. Okay, so I'll just explain this one. Okay, so as you can see, still few of them are showing. So at first, okay, now try to make dry runs properly, okay? So for outer in range, so one of the variable is outer. So we'll be making this one variable that is outer. I'll simply write O, you try to understand, okay? Then another is I, inner. I represents for inner. So just a minute, one of the teacher. Okay, so here we have two variables in this program. So one is outer and next is inner. So in dry run, what you have to understand is how many variables we have used in that particular program. You need to draw this kind of, memory allocation. This is just a representation of memory allocation. So this is in the name of outer. I'll simply write OUT out. Then this as a inner. Okay. Okay, I'll add that ER also so that it will be easy. Okay, so now at very first, your program controller will be at line 1. So for outer in range. So here, as you can see, the first parameter is 5. This outer variable is initialized with value equals to 5. And your loop goes up to 9. Why? Because the last point or the upper limit is always discarded. So from 5 to 6, 7, 8, and 9. Only this many values will be provided by this outer loop range function. Okay, so starting point is 5. So initially, this outer variable is initialized with 5. Now after that, what happens? Your program controller moves to its body, inside its body. Here again, program controller sees like there is another for loop. So for inner, in range, now the initial value for inner variable will be 1. Why? Because the first parameter is 1 at first. So the inner will be initialized by 1. So this is the first iteration. So now, after that, your program controller gets inside the inner for loop body. Here, this print statement is there. It will simply print the recent value of outer and inner. So the outer value is 5 and inner value is 1. This is the first iteration. Okay. So this is the first iteration. So why few of them are joining again and again? So this is the value of outer and this is the value of inner. Now, after this, see here what you have to understand, very, very important point. Eh? So until and unless this inner loop gets completely executed, the outer loop will never get executed. So what I mean to say is, at first, inner loop always gets executed completely. Then finally, the outer loop gets completed. So this point, just note down, inner loop always gets executed completely at first, then only the outer loop gets executed completely. Okay, so here, now after this print statement, your program controller moves back to inner for loop. Here, as you can see, the step value is 2. That means your loop will be incremented by value equals to 2. So these values were the range values were for outer. Now let us write for inner also. So the range value for inner is, that is starting from 1, and here as you can see outer. So outer means the value of outer was 5. So at this iteration or at this time, the value will, that range function providing for this inner variable will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so your range value will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 is the starting point and the stopping point is the outer. So outer had this 5. So 5 is always discarded. as per the rule. So your range function will provide values from 1 to 4. And as you can see, the step value is 2. So initially, the inner variable was initialized with value equals to 1. Now, since the step value is 2, that means it will be incremented by 2. That is 1 plus 2 will be 3. So from here also you can notice it will skip 2-step value, that is counting 1 itself, 2. Now this 2 value is skipped. This value is taken into consideration, that is 3. Or in the simplest way you can understand, the third parameter is used for incrementation or decrementation process. So here, as you can see, this 1 is the lowest value, the starting point is lowest, and this outer has value equals to 5. That means this particular inner for loop will iterate, that is starting from lowest value to upper value is highest. So your loop should be incremented. Instead of decrementation, your loop should be incremented. So here this 2 means your loop will increment by 2. So initially it was 1, so 1 plus 2 will be 3. Now the value provided by range function to inner variable will be 3. So in second iteration, the value of inner variable will be 3, right? So here again, your program controller moves to this inside body, for loop body. See, again, the value is printed. Outer value remains unchanged because your program controller is still inside this inner for loop. So that's why outer value is unchanged. It prints the same value for outer variable. That is 5. And the inner variable value is changed or updated from 1 to 3. So that's why it's printing 3. Okay. Now again, the same thing repeats because this is a iterating statement or looping statement. So it keeps on iterating until and unless this range value gets over. So now the same process happens, that is in next iteration, the inner value will be incremented by 2, that is 3 plus 2, 5. So 3 plus 2 will be 5. But as you can see, this 5 is out of range value. So now what happens? This condition evaluates to false. That means it do not find any that range value. So after that, your program controller starts moving to outer loop. So since there are no any further range values for nested loop or inner loop, now your program controller starts moving towards outer loop. So right from this point, your program controller moves to this one. Now, as you can see, initially in outer loop, the outer variable was initialized by 5. So here place value, you can see it's 4. That means this should be incremented by 4. That is 5 plus 4 will be 9. So 9 is within a range. So this value will be assigned to outer variable. So outer variable will be updated as 9. So again, from here, the program controller gets inside to for next, this one inner for loop. So now here what we have to understand, inner for loop always gets reset in every new iteration after receiving or after receiving new values from outer variable. Your inner loop always gets reset. So what I mean to say is, so program controller again arrived to inner for loop here after receiving new value from outer for loop. Again, your program controller get inside this inner for loop. So here again, it starts from 1 only. This you have to understand very, very carefully, okay? So your inner for loop will reset. Reset means it will again start from the beginning. That is, the value of inner will again start from 1. Okay. And as you can see, the value of outer is updated as 9. So now the value, range value is increased. So that is, previously it was up to 4. Now starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 is the last point, so it will be discarded. Now the possible range values will be 1 to 8. The same process. Okay. Initially, when the value of inner is 1, it will print 1. The value of outer is 9. The value of inner is 1. Again, your program controller moves to this inner for loop. Here, your loop is incremented by 2. That is 1 plus 2 will be 3. So again, this inner variable is assigned with 3. So same thing. There is no other condition check or no any other statements. Only this print statement is there. So outer variable remains unchanged. Only the inner loop variable is changed. That is 3. So again, back to this. 3 plus 2 will be 5. Now coming back to this print statement, again, outer remains unchanged. This one, 5. Okay. So again, back to increment. That means 5 plus 2 will be 7. So now inner variable received value as 7. So back to this nested for loop body, it simply prints the outer value. So outer variable value is unchanged, that is 9, and inner is operated as 7. Now after that, 7 plus 2 is equals to 9. So as you can see, the range value is up to 8 only. So there is no possible values for 9. So your loop gets terminated from here and gets back to outer loop again. So in outer loop, as you can see, your outer loop value is already updated to 9. So here also it tries to increment the range value, that is 9 plus 4, right? 9 plus 4 means how much? 13. So there is no such values available for this range function. Hence, the program controller gets out of this loop and comes to next line. So there is no any further statements in next line. Your program also gets terminated finally. So this is how nested for loop executes. So is there any confusion, anyone? So any question? So this too you have to understand very, very carefully, okay? Because some of you might get confused during the execution process. So what you have to understand, at first, the outer loop will receive one value, then it gets inside the nested one or the inner loop. So in inner loop process, what happens? Whole iteration will be executed completely. Then only it gets out of that loop and checks whether the outer loop is also executed completely or not. If not, again, the value will be incremented. Then after that gets back to inner loop again. And as I've already said, whenever a new value is entering from outer loop to inner loop, the inner loop every time gets reset. That means again, inner loop starts iterating from the initial point. Okay, starts from the initial point every time. This you have to understand. Okay, if you don't understand this concept or this logic, means again you will be confused. So is there any question, anyone? Just let me know. Otherwise, we'll move to next example. So here also you can see another example. I'll just type the same example. For A in range 3. Then for B in range 5,7, the same example that of book I'm writing here, 5,7. Now inside print statement, I'll write for a equals to comma a comma b now is b. Okay, so this will be solid example to understand. So here, as you can see in the output, for a equals to 0, b now is 5. So this is the solid example, okay? In previous example, also we may include this type of statement so that it will be easy to you understand. But here, as you can see, whenever the value of a is this, the value of b is now this. So still, as you can see, the value of a is unchanged, that is 0 itself, but value of b now is 6. So let's try to run this code also. So initially we have one variable, that is a. So here is only one parameter, means no doubt range function starting point is 0. That we have to understand, okay? So by default it starts from 0. So a is assigned with 0. Now after that, your program controller gets inside its body. So there again, program controller finds another for loop, that is nested for loop. Here we have one more variable, that is b. So as you can see, the first parameter is given. So b is initialized with value equals to 5. So in case of a, the range function will provide value equals to 0, 1, and 2. That 3 is always discarded. And for b, the value will be 5 and 6. Because the ending point is 7, means only 5 and 6. Right? So let's start this iteration. So when value of a equals to 0. So here, as you can see, for a equals to 0, b now is 5, right? B now is 5. As you can see, when value of a is equals to 0, b now is 5. So this is printed in this way. So here inside inverted comma, we have just written this so that it will be printed as it is in order to understand. So for a is equals to that, this is just a format. Instead of this, we can simply print a comma b. But here, as you can see, this a is free from that inverted comma, means we are about to print the value stored in this variable a. But this a is inside inverted comma, means this is just a formatted text. Okay, this is just a formatted text. It will be printed as it is. So here in output, as you can see, this for a equals to, this is a pre-formatted text. This is just a format that is printed as it is. See, for a equals to is printed as it is. And this 0 is retrieved from this variable, that you have to understand. And every parameter should be separated by comma inside this print statement. So this is first formatted text. This is one parameter, comma. Then we want to print right after that, we want to print the value of a. So I've written variable a. Then after that, if I want to include some other parameters, then again comma. Then again, I want to print some text, pre-format text, that is b now is. So I've written it inside inverted comma. Then I want to include few more, parameter, that is, I've included this comma. And the last parameter is b. So here I want to print the value of b. So that is why it is free from inverted comma. So these things you must understand. Okay, how we have used different statements. These things you have to understand. So now, initially, as you can see, for a equals to 0, b now is 5. Now, after printing this, your program controller moves to this one, line number 2. Here, as you can see, there is no any third parameter. Only 2 parameters there. So I've already mentioned during this range function discussion time, if there is only 2 parameter, means your step value will be by default equals to 1, or your loop iteration will be incremented by default value equals to 1. So here, so from 5, it will be incremented by 1. That is 5 plus 1 will be 6. Now the value of variable b will be receiving as 6. So again, your program controller gets inside its body, that is inner for loop body. Here the same thing, for a is equals to. As you can see, the value of a is unchanged, remains same. Why? Because it is not updated. So that's why for a is equals to whatever the value of a is, that is printed. So for a is equals to 0. And b now is. So b, the value of b is updated, right? So it's 6. It's printed. So after that, again, your loop iteration is incremented by 1. But here, unfortunately, that value is not available in this range function. So if it is not available, means what happens? Your program controller moves to outer loop. Okay, from here, from this point, your program controller moves to outer loop. Why? Because these are the statement inside outer for loop. So once this statement's execution process is completed, your program controller again moves back to outer loop, right? So everything started from outer loop means whatever the statement is inside its outer loop body, once it gets completely executed, your program controller returns back to outer loop. So here, initially the value of a was 0. Now it is incremented by 1. That is 0 plus 1 will be 1. So again, your program controller gets inside its body. So now, as you can see, the value of outer loop is changed. Your program controller is again entering inside its body. That is, your program controller is about to access inner for loop again with some new value from outer loop. So that means your inner loop will get reset, right? Reset means now again, as you can see, 5,7 means again the value of b will be assigned as 5. That you have to understand. And after that, the nested for loop statement is like print for a equals to a. So now the value of a is 1, so it is printing 1. Then b now is 5. So similarly, again the value of b will be updated or incremented by 1, that is 6. And a remains unchanged. So for a equals to 1 and b now is 6. The same process repeats until and unless the outer range function or outer range value is out of range. That is, it starts executing when the value of a is 0, 1, and 2. So after 2, your loop gets terminated. So that's why there is no more values for a, only up to 2. So is this clear? Is there any question or any confusion in this part? Just let me know. All of you just try this example and just forward this screenshot and try that dry runs, okay? And if there is any confusion, just let me know. Clear?